When she was 16, they lived in England for 2 years, and while they lived in England, they traveled all over Europe. And so I think that probably started the traveling bug.
She's done a lot of traveling with a trailer, and so she knows the ins and outs of camping and RVing. And I think she's developed a real love of that over the years and an interest in continuing to do that. She loves the outdoors. She likes to see different places.
She was always preparing. She was researching, finding out how to get the most out of the experience. So whether it was a road trip or camping or her planned trip to England that COVID canceled, she knew what she wanted to do with her time, and she knew how to maximize what she was going to do.
We would be going along and she'd see a sign on the road and say, hey, let's go that way. And so we'd look at the map and see how far out and back it would be. Sometimes our days traveling were long because we would detour to look at something else.
So traveling, I think she's enjoyed the most when she's been able to do that with other people. Of course, when her husband Bruce was alive, she would travel a great deal with him. And since his passing, she's actually made other friends that she can travel with too, and has really enjoyed that and has told us about some of those trips that she has been on.
Sandy is in the corner office, which is kind of in the heart of our department. And she is the one that knows everything, and she is the one that answers all the questions. So if you need to know anything about anything, it's always ask Sandy.
Like, she doesn't seem to me like she's outwardly motivated. Like, she's not doing it so that these people can rely on her. She's not doing it so that these people will come to her and be like, oh, you're so great at knowing everything. She does it because that's her duty, and she's so detail oriented that there's just something inside her that needs to know these things, needs to know the details, and needs to make sure that she's in control of the situation so that if anything comes up, she can handle it, and she's prepared to be able to take on whatever shows up.
One thing that Sandy has shown us is that a department secretary is essential to the functioning of any unit on campus, but she has done so with such diligence and excellence that it kind of leaves big shoes to fill. It's difficult for us to easily describe all the things that Sandy has done because there have just been so many of them. And in fact, many of those we're actually learning about since she's been away for a few weeks, that we're finding out all the things we didn't even realize that she was taking care of for us.
I think she's very no-nonsense, and she's just matter of fact and gets things done. And I think part of the reason why she's like that, just get it done and then it's set up and she can just follow up with it, is that she didn't put things off. She just took care of business when it was needed to be done.
She can be very direct, and so you have to be able to know how to read that sparkle in her eye, to know when she's just kind of testing your limits or making sure you know your place, that you're not going to overspend on your budget or do things that are anywhere close to the edges of any of the BYU rules.
I think she can be intimidating because of the no-nonsense, but I think once people get to know her, they see that it's not like it's like this warm, this is what we need to do, this is what needs to get done. And I think in the long run, people who work with her for a long time just start to expect more of themselves because she expects so much of herself and everyone who's working with her. And so it gets kind of things can get out of control fast, so it's easier to stay ahead of things. And it's better to stay on top of your game and make sure that you know what's happening. And I think that bringing that into every job that she's had, the people around her have just seen when you're on top of your stuff, when you know what's happening, that's what you need to do. And that makes everything easier. And so people just expect more of themselves. I know I expect more of myself because not wanting to disappoint her, I guess.
Yeah, but she's always made wonderful friends wherever she's worked. She always walked away with just lifelong friends.